Pheasant Productions presents the mathematics of ESP. Why it works even if you don't believe in it. Okay, I'm going to try and do this. My voice is still pretty rotten from the situation all I'm going through here. The lungs feel like heck, so I'm going to cough a lot. My apologies. I have announced Elon Musk and Richard Branson and basically the world in general that I'm stepping back up to the plate to help with the International Space Station. The United States under Donald Trump can't allow people to have a dream of freedom. They can't have people looking up at the stars and dreaming. They have to have them looking at leaders and listening and doing what they're told. So they had to step out. It has been a process that they've slowly been doing and unwinding. And if you look at the laws and regulations against protesting, and you look at what has been going on with NASA being slowly strangled, science as a general rule being shut down so that corporate manufacturing profiteering takes precedence. You can see that, yeah, it's rather necessary for me to step forward and once again take my baby to the next phase. You have to understand, okay, NASA did not build the International Space Station. 7 countries started the International Space Station, folks. It has never, ever been NASA's sole property. They do not control it. They do not kick it out of space. They do not send a missile up and blow it up. It is not their fucking property. End of statement. Okay? It is the world's property. It is a gift that I, the Creator, gave to the whole world in the hopes that maybe, just maybe, I could find a way to save your butts when you ended up killing yourself off on the planet. Probably not. Maybe I'm just going to get my own personal wish of not having to die on a planet full of stupid people. I have put forth the thing, I mean, like Kurt Cobain put it quite well, humans are so stupid that I'm ashamed to be a human. Believe me, folks, it's well within that realm when you sit there and realize that for 50 years I have been pointing out issues and problems. I'm an old man. And the biggest thing that I still see is you people want to play divide and conquer. You don't care about the fact that the air you breathe is the same air that the person on the other side of your imaginary wall also breathes. You can't accept the fact that you're all one race. Quite disgusting. There is a variety of things that I have put forward to Elon that I could help him with. Because I designed this to be multiple nations at this point in time, there are 15 nations with the United States going to drop out. Or get their butts kicked out if I get rolling hard enough here. I'll just simply squash their dream. The situation is such that, you know, a lot of countries have an awful lot of money involved. Elon Musk is SpaceX, and he has devoted his company to the idea of supplying the International Space Station, at least in its beginning phase, before it branches out to other things like going to Mars. Since in the early 70s I was designing stuff to have a Mars, not a Mars colony, a moon base. Somebody else can go to Mars. I wasn't that much interested in that. I also had an asteroid retrieval system, my RATS. Retrieval asteroid tug ships. Basically, if I were to draw a real quick diagram of them, that's what they would kind of, in a backward sense, look like. Big, huge engine and a bunch of tow cables. Okay, folks, think about it. You know, just a big round thing with a bunch of tails hanging off of it. Go out there, grab an asteroid, and run on back in. Anyway, Elon Musk and the stuff he wants to do, I had my RATS, my asteroid my retrieval asteroid tug ships. Okay, and they used a engine system that semi out of reading science fiction stuff and semi out of my own knowing enough about what's available and all. I came up with and designed an idea of an engine that gets you around the solar system quite well. Interplanetary rocket system. The problem that Elon Musk has is that he has to build his ship down here, put it up in space, take it from space, fill it up with fuel, fly it across to Mars. He has to send robot ships ahead of him to hopefully have them up and running and producing him fuel, so when he gets there he's only there for a few months while they try and get their fuel from their devices back into their ship to be able to turn around and come back here. And all in all, it's quite expensive and it's quite cumbersome and quite lengthy, because he, I believe, is projecting something like 7 to 10 months to go from Earth orbit to Mars orbit. It's pretty well known in the science circles that a one gravity drive going from Earth orbit to Mars orbit, which is a drive that is constantly pushing. You will feel one gravity of force pushing you on to the bottom of your rocket ship there, to give you a floor. You actually stand up and walk around, okay, in one gravity, okay. Your rocket's flying this way. Halfway to wherever it's going, it flips over and it starts jetting out, one gravity of jet going that way to slow you down, okay. So it's a constant thrust engine. They're very fast when they do that. It's 7 weeks from Earth orbit to Mars orbit. And with my RADS, interplanetary drive system, yeah, you get to go where you want to go because fuel is everywhere. Easiest way to do this is think of the idea, the asteroid belt out there. You don't really know what you're going to find. There are a whole lot of different rocks and on chunks of ice and bits and pieces of various things. You might find a blob of pure methane, for that matter. You get out there, whatever you find basically is fuel for the engine to drive back with. So, you pick up a mile-long asteroid, you start blasting your way back to lunar orbit for the smelting process and the refining process and all. And not only do you get to get back in time for Christmas with your kids, you're not gone the whole year. Chances are you would probably only devour at most about a third of that asteroid, which means you'd have one huge chunk of raw material there. If it were an ice chunk, like a comet, lots of those around, aren't there? Yeah, there's lots of chunks of ice out there, which both the moon needs water and Mars needs water. So they'll go out there and go get those chunks and they'll haul them in. I mean, it makes a lot more sense than coming over here and asking the United States to give them a glass of water, doesn't it? Yeah. So Phase 2 is me stepping up and showing you how you people can survive out there, giving you some ideas, round-tabling it, talking it over, bouncing it across all kinds of heads and brains, and seeing what else we can come up with and do and figure out. Your planet is dying. You don't have a choice. There was a movie a long time ago, I forget exactly what it was called, but it was some kind of an idea of an arc where big domes were up in satellite Earth orbit, Lagrange orbit, different types of terrains for different places, biosphere stuff. Yeah, I forget what it was called. It had some little robots and one guy that was going to try and save them, and somebody else wanted to destroy them all because, by golly, the planet was dead. We might as well kill everything else. Something like that. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. But needless to say, it was not a good scene in it. But it was very interesting to see all those domes. And yeah, we can definitely build them with my asteroid mining industry. You can definitely produce all the raw material you need up there where you need it, not down here, and then mucho expensive to get it up. No, you build up there, you refine up there, you devise up there, you build your living quarters, you figure out how to grow plants, you got your biospheres and everything else. And then, in 2 or 3 years, you got a couple of million people living in space. And they're sitting walking around here trying to figure out how to survive on a planet where everybody that's in control wants to throw a nuclear bomb at everybody else, like they're really intelligent. So phase 2 is on target. I was expecting the United States to step down because it would go fascism, and fascism cannot allow you to dream about freedom, which is what space is. I don't know how many others are going to step up. I mean, let's face it, I was told, well, I'm going to fail because you people simply will be too arrogant to want to save your own butts. So, yeah, but, hey, the offer's out there. People want to start trying to put shit together and do something and put a little coin in my pocket to help me keep my stuff together and doing what I'm doing and, get in contact with. Let's start building. Let's try and save ourselves instead of nitpick about whose group is better at it. Why don't we all work together? You're one race, you're one planet, you're all going to die one death.